Beloved brothers and sisters, Kiaya Ariati here, and we are coming in with a collective choice point moment. Love these. And it is in the full moon of Cancer. So if you're like me, then you have probably been releasing through all of the tears, all of the emotions, and making space to choose differently. So I'm going to wait for a few individuals to join this space. I believe today is the full moon in Australia, at least, and that will cycle around over to the other side of the world. I want to say the northern hemisphere, but I'm like, are we even in the southern hemisphere? That's how much I know about actual world map geography. For someone who works with earth grids and communicates with land a lot, that's saying something around my cognitive awareness. All right, so as much as we don't use the word warning, there is an awareness point. We are in a choice point. We're in a choice point for the collective where we choose collectively, which brings in a new timeline. However, we've been in a holding point where we've been holding this new timeline. This new timeline has been held. It's like holding in the field. It's not anchored. So this is the choice point to anchor this timeline. This time's sitting there, and some of us are like, come on, I need a little assistance. I need some help, please, guys. Can you help me out a little? So I would be one of those individuals that in the past has had that. I've had this like, guys, I really need you to catch up. Please, can you catch up to me? And there's been this manipulation through my abilities to steer people onto the right path, to steer people onto the highest timeline, to steer people and effectively influence their free will. Now, this timeline that is in this holding point, and I did a post on this the other day, so if you feel as though you want to understand what the holding point is and a little bit more information around this holding timeline, this full moon collective choice point that goes, the majority of beings need to have made this choice in the next 36 hours from this point in time. Now, I've just made mine. I have just made my choice point moment. And that is solidifying this timeline in my reality. Now, my reality is only connected to the collective reality. We all have our own timelines, and then we have a collective timeline. So what we're choosing for our own timeline of our highest good, it's like we can have one highest timeline, but pending our choice to actually anchor that in and choose it solid in the I am knowing, that will affect how our collectives works. So at the moment, we are bringing up an energy around perpetuating cycles. We've been circling through this for the last week and a half. It's been present, it's been alive, recognizing where we have a perpetuating cycle that we keep looping and we don't seem to get out of. And so this specific full moon is an opportunity to break this perpetuating cycle that is preventing you from releasing the self-sabotage. So the energy is around self-sabotage of your own path, self-sabotage of your own growth, self-sabotage of your own expansion, self-sabotage of the things you truly want to call in and desire in your life. And so the energy theme that's coming up is, where am I self-sabotaging? And what is the perpetuating cycle that I continue to cycle over and over that I'm not releasing or getting to the core of? Now, in this choice point moment, we have an opportunity. So a choice point, if you don't understand it, a choice point is a moment in time, one moment in time. Hopefully, if you've got oracle or psychic visions, or you use your abilities, you can look into the future and go, what's that moment, so I don't miss it. But you have one moment in time that is offered. Now, that moment in time might be sitting in the field, depending on where you are in your developmental journey, to how long that will be offered there. So it's like Source giving you a gift. like, here you go, I have something for you. I have a gift for you. And Source has got the hands out, handing you this gift, and you're like, do I want to take it? Seems a bit risky. All of my mind and all of my narratives and all of my stories and belief systems are like, I don't know if I want to take this gift. Don't think it's very gift worthy. Kind of seems a little insane, actually. But it's where a choice point is, where you let go of the logic, control, dictatorship of the ego construct, and you move into faith and trust of an opportunity or something that doesn't tangibly, you can't actually control it because there's no control there. It is a leap of faith. That's what a choice point is. It's a leap of faith into the unknown, where you're like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going, but it feels good, and I'm going to let go of all of the fear and the manipulation to do it, because I know, even if it doesn't feel good, I know within my soul that I need to lean into this, because this is what is really true and alive for me. I need to choose this. My body is opening and calling me to this. So this perpetuating cycle of sabotage is going to be very highlighted in your experience over the next 36 hours. You are going to find that you might distract. You may find that you are doing or behaving in ways that you haven't done in quite some time. Or you are simply denying that you are even in the cycle to begin with, because you haven't A, brought awareness to it, or B, you don't really want to make the challenging decision of choosing this choice point. So what's necessary to make the choice point is 1, being aware that there is one coming. 2, starting to choose from faith, source, guidance, trust, surrender. And 3, being aware of questioning. So it's not a lens of this way or that way, but what's the middle way? So there's a middle way energy that's really present. A middle way energy that is coming up that's saying, I would normally go this way, or I would normally go that way, but I'm going to start to merge into union. So it's a union way, a middle way of light and dark coexisting and both receiving what is true for them, so that it can bring in this timeline. Because this new timeline that is wanting to be anchored in is the middle way for most of us. It's the true way, because the one way to God is the middle way. It's not the light way, it's not the dark way, it's not the left, it's not the right. It's the center, true north. It is the middle point of the medicine wheel. That is what this timeline is. And it requires us to choose that in this moment of, what is my choice point in the middle way? What is this choice point that's coming up with a theme that I'm self-sabotaging because I'm afraid of expansion? I'm afraid of the unknown. I'm afraid of not having control over my experience. If I choose this, then I might lose the foundations of my narratives that I've built, the foundations of what I've known to be true up until this point, the foundations of the structures of my mind that have existed up until now. And so this energetic point is going to come with certain contrast, and it will be a very contrasting one if it's not chosen in the middle way. So this is a choice point that will cause suffering. This is a choice point that will cause pain. This is a choice point that if you choose self-sabotage and you fuck it up, it's going to hurt like hell. This is not me being nasty. This is not me programming your mind. This is me using the vision of my oracle that I can see and have also done multiple times in my life to know this energy signature inside out, upside down. Miss choice points like this, ouch. They're ouchies. These are those bus moments. So we are in the bus moment. What am I really choosing? You might not actually notice that you get hit by the bus if you miss this point, but it will happen. Now, one of the hardest things for me as a human being that I am claiming as this is true, actually. I can't manipulate myself. I can't avoid, I cannot spiritually bypass. No matter how much work I do, this still hurts me. No matter how much I do, because I know another way. So as an oracle that's come to understanding the middle way, who's come to listening to Source in every moment, who is guided by God, and I can see an easeful path forward, and I watch humanity choose the experience through suffering and pain, that actually fucking hurts. When I watch my soul family and my soul group step off their path and start to go through contrast and pain because of whatever narrative has come up, whatever choice point has been missed, whatever delusion they've caught themselves up in, that hurts. And that is my human truth. I do not like watching people learn through pain. I do not like watching people learn through loss. I do not like watching people get hit by the bus so that the things that are within them have to die, rather than witnessing them and choosing to let them go and die in grace, in choice. That for me hurts. So this is one of the hardest things for me as an oracle. This is one of the hardest things for me as a leader of the new earth. This is one of the things that I still choose. Yes, this hurts me, but I have to sit in the pain of watching them choose what is true for them. If they're choosing addiction, if they're choosing a destructive relationship, if they're choosing manipulation, if they're choosing fear, that is their path, and eventually evolving is inevitable. How long it takes someone to evolve is completely up to them. I have no control over that, and I actually can no longer manipulate or try and convince somebody to come this way. This is as far as my message could go. My message can be, here's a choice point. Here's what you're experiencing. This is what's within, and this is also what is external. And you have a choice to choose it consciously or not. You can listen to me and actually go and sit after this transmission and reflect and be like, okay, what is my self-perpetuating cycle? I'm willing to look at this. I'm going to journal this. I don't think I want to get hit by the bus. That's a choice. You make the choice. You allow the opening for the awareness to come in. You go and sit with yourself and you ask for your perpetuating cycle of sabotage. What is the possible theme of my movement forward? What is it that I'm being offered? What is my gift from God? Go and sit, ask, be aware, be ahead of the game. Don't let life, how it manifests is first in spirit, in consciousness, through here. Then it's interpreted through brain, through thought. Then, if you miss it in these first two, you feel it in body. That's the feeling. And then, if you miss it through those three channels, it will show up in your experience. That's the contrast. So you have 3 points of opportunity to see it. If it's in your body, it's because your body's like, hey, hello, wake up. Hey, we're talking to you and you're just not listening. Now, I've learned through illness many times. I've learned through the contrast of my physical experience many times. I know this inside out, upside down. I don't choose it anymore because it hurts every time. Every time. There has not been one time that I've missed a choice point or an awareness that's come from spirit, thought, body, and then manifested in my physical experience that has been joyful. Yeah, I've learned. I've definitely learned. I've been initiated. But what I've also been shown through God is that these points that you missed 4 years ago, the point you're at now, you could have been there 6 months after that choice. You would have been 4 years more advanced had you have not chosen through fear, pain, and resistance. But I didn't. I went the long way around. So I can stand here and tell you, you don't have to go the long way around. You can hear a message like this from someone who's been there, done that. Hear their wisdom, hear their truth, hear the sincerity, the knowing. And take this information and go and sit with yourself. Use it. Don't just hear it and receive it and let it go. Don't just read a post that I or any channel or any being that is in leadership that is sharing this information with is just reading, and then you're like, okay, yeah, cool, sweet. Just keep going on my path. You will not accelerate. You will not receive the gifts. You will not receive the medicine of what these transmissions are. You have to self-reflect. You have to go and sit and ask the challenging questions. You have to be with you in the inspired action. There is no other way. If you're hearing, if you're listening, and you're like resonating and you're doing nothing with any of this, then you're also not choosing. You're not choosing. And that's hard. But that is ownership. That's claiming it. That's, yeah, I listen to all this stuff, but I don't actually choose any of it. What are you willing to choose? Because these choice points are accelerating. You have a role now, right? There's a role you're playing in the collective. At this point, if you don't choose, you can lose your role. And it's not about you're being punished because you didn't choose, because you can always choose again, and you can reclaim different aspects. That's the beauty of the cosmic universe. But you could also lose it, and that choice or that opportunity may not come up for a very long time, depending on what you're doing. What is important to you? I know some dear, beautiful, beautiful sisters that are no longer in my life because they didn't choose and they sat in the pain. Now, some of them reclaimed and was like, yeah, this hurts. I own it. I didn't choose it. I'm not willing to do that anymore. I am not willing to live my human experience without meeting my soul's karmic dharma. I am not willing to do that because it is too painful. So what do I need to do to ensure that I meet those points? And they made a declaration. They declared to God, I am not willing to live in my human experience and not meet my soul mission. Ta-da! I claimed it. I owned it. It is me. I am this. Everything in the universe, the quantum field, then has to realign to make that your truth. That's the action step. It's really quite simple. It's just here that makes it complicated. It doesn't have to be. You can sit with this entire message, you can reflect, and you can ask yourself, what am I really choosing? And what do I declare in this moment that is true in my heart? True in my consciousness, true in my essence of who I be? Am I willing to do whatever it takes to line up to that? And if you're not, that is okay, because that's sovereignty. But choose it consciously. No, actually, I don't want to complete my soul mission, God. Give it up. You had that choice. Now, for me, I've chosen to try, in my infinite amounts of experiences, I chose to try and complete my soul mission. There was one lifetime in Greece that I actually gave it up. I was one of the high priestesses. I was second queen, I believe, to King Alexander. And it was fuckery. It was fucked. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I am not choosing this path. And I actually released all of my soul contracts. I released everything. And I went and lived a simple life in a small tribal community where I was just a very, very simple medicine woman. I was the local healer and I was so happy. I was so happy. I was respected, I was seen. I didn't have to go through the fuckery. I didn't have to keep evolving. I actually chose to stop evolving. I consciously chose to stop evolving. And it was beautiful. And I didn't regret it. I experienced it. And then I experienced that, and now it's time for me to continue to experience evolution, because it is not true for me in this time, in this space, in this moment, to give up on what I chose to do here on Earth. It's really up to you. What does your heart really want? Choose that. I love you. Ahava. If you are in resonance to the collective messages, the transmissions that come through, and you want to support my work, please visit my linked tree, and there is a make a donation button through PayPal. I would be open to receiving all donations so that I can continue to show up when God speaks. And if this message is something that you would like to share with others so that they can also choose consciously to make this choice point, please share or tag. I love you.